You know what, punters? They're all the bloody same. Labor, Liberal, doesn't matter who you vote for, the outcome's still the same. What? What do you mean they're not the same? All right, punters, buckle in or click off because I have some good news for you. Both parties are in fact not the same. And there goes YouTube retention. That's fine. Thanks to punters over on Patreon, I can keep making these videos whether you bloody want to click them or not. But here's some good news, some very rare good news. I'm going to try and give a bit more good news about what the Australian government is doing that is actually beneficial to us, because I spend a lot of my time pointing out the biggest scams that continue to get pulled on us by corporate Australia. And I can definitely give the impression, I hear you out there, Labor Rusties, definitely can give the impression that I think that both parties are the same. Because when I point out the things I'm pointing out, on those issues, both parties are pretty much doing the same thing and serving the same corporate interests, because guess what? They both take money from those same corporate interests and they both get jobs when they finish office in those same corporate mining cartels, Goldman Sachs banks, you name it. That's where politicians go to sell their political connections after they finish office. And on so many of those things, they're the same. But I was scrolling Reddit today and a punter over on Reddit had a fair point. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to draw some attention to it. So let's take a look at this Reddit post that got me wanting to create a video saying, you know what, they're not exactly the same. Adani has paid zero corporate tax in Australia. Experts think he won't ever pay a cent. Surprise, bloody surprise. Australia getting grifted again. Obviously, I'm outraged. You should be outraged about it too. But as I was scrolling some of these comments down here and reactions to it, I came across Reddit punter Dope Fish. And he says this. So we have had 2 corporate tax laws passed and an increase to the ATO-Q funding in the last term in theory to cut down on this. But what does this bloody mean? And it starts with this headline here, which I've just got to draw attention to. And I know it's good news and I know you might want to just feel outraged. But for a minute, let's revel in some success here. ATO collects $100 billion from large corporations. Yes, it's a drop in the bucket. Yes, they owe us way more than this. But how awesome is it that the ATO's collection from large corporations is up 16%? That's great news. This video is brought to you by me, Punters Politics, and the Punters Politics merch store, where you can go and get merch and support the channel. Anyway, back to it. Tax paid by oil and gas sector increased 11 billion. Yes, I won't point out that is still an absolute joker of a number, but the trend is trending upwards. And would that have trended upwards if Peanuts had have won? I'd have taken a massive punt on no. I don't think that would have happened. So are they both the same? No, they are not. And here is some hard evidence for it in the issue that I get quite worked up about, which is foreign mining bludgers stealing our stuff and not paying tax. Some more good news. The percentage of those entities that paid no income tax has decreased since the first publication CTT report from 36% now to 31%. Okay, I'll take it. Guys, punters, this is baby tiny steps in the right direction. Yeah, we keep this up. This compounds. This is actually really good news. Because apparently Albo has increased the ATO budget to 200 million, and that seems to have brought in some good results. Punters, you want good return on investment. You fund the ATO properly. Everyone's like, no, don't fund the tax agency. You fund them properly so they have the resources to go after these absolute bludgers. Otherwise, if they don't have the funding, they can't take them to court and fight them, because these guys have infinite amounts of money. Let's just fact check that. Here we go. Okay. And it checks out. Tax Avoidance Task Force has been boosted to 200 million per year. Thank you, Reddit punter Dopefish, for drawing attention to this and for providing citations. Fact checks always welcome. Citations are necessary below, because now I can click this and see it for myself. Okay, and let's go to this next one, country by country reporting. This is another great thing that we've gotten because Albo has been in power and Dutton would definitely not have done this. So, public country by country reporting. What is it? Is a reporting regime that requires large multinationals to publish selected tax information to the public. That's great. Okay, so this is boring and gets above my pay grade quite quickly. As far as I understand it, this law is forcing large corporations that maybe make over $1 billion or make at least 10 million here in Australia, and it requires them to publish how much money they make in each country and how much tax they paid in each country, how many employees they have in each country, so that it enables better assessment of whether the entity's economic presence in a jurisdiction aligns with the amount of money they pay in that jurisdiction. So I think it means we can assess better whether it's worth having you operate on our shores, given that we can see where you're paying your taxes, where your money is coming from. So this is a law aimed at providing better transparency so the corporations can't hide their dodgy bookkeeping as easily. Will it work? I don't know, but it's got to be a step in the right direction to see us taking steps towards doing this. Because the short of it is, Adani is set up, according to experts, to pay no taxes while operating here, pay not much in royalties. So we have to ask the question, is it worth us letting them do that much damage if we don't get anything for it? And how they do it is they get loans off parent companies to their Australian subsidiaries, and then they pay back the money to the overseas subsidiaries at higher interest rates. It's called transfer pricing. This is one of the ways in which they do it. So let's hope by making companies report more of what's happening in the different countries with their parent subsidiary companies, that this also enables the ATO to track down these bludgers and stop them doing the dodgy stuff we know they're doing. And then Reddit punter Dopefish points out the implementation of a global minimum tax, which I won't go into now because I need to do some more reading on it, because I think Donald Trump might have torched that little effort of trying to crack down on all this money shifting into tax havens from the countries in which they make their money, which is clearly a scam. So let's hope, like Reddit punter Dopefish says, that we would start to see the effects of this law in 24-25, in which the returns are being filed, or the next one. So let's hope, let's keep an eye out, punters, mark next financial year. Let's see if the trend started by the Albanese government continues, because he's got a long run here. If this trend line goes up, you know what? I will give some props to Bare Minimum Albo right there. And you tell me whether you think this is fair. Reddit punter Dopefish says, what's odd is that The Guardian never references these specific law changes despite being highly relevant to the topic. It is highly relevant. Really calls into question their journalism and why they'd pass on highlighting this detail. I'll have to take a look at whether The Guardian has covered any of these law changes and if it's improved. The coincidence or conspiracy put forward by Dopefish, it's weirdly similar to how Murdoch Rags didn't want us to know about them, so Dutton could then repeal them. So I think it's a fair point that's made me think, if punters don't know about these laws and don't know about these improvements, that if a government gets in and wants to do the bidding of their corporate overlords, like the Liberal Party definitely 100% want to do, then they can repeal them and we punters have no idea. So why should you really care about nerdy, boring ass details like this? Why should you have your head around this? Well, it's because we are now having a massive national conversation about tax. Should we raise the GST? Should we raise income taxes? Should we make small businesses pay more taxes? Or maybe, just bloody maybe, should we make those bludgers, those mining bludgers, those gas cartels pay us what they bloody owe us? Because as we discuss tax, someone will be left holding the bag. And if governments take the right steps to make these bludgers pay us what they owe, the government won't come looking into our pockets, which is what they will do if we don't support them when they make positive, good changes like this. When we don't fall for the propaganda that the Murdoch Sky News minions and Gina Reinhart's personal think tank, the IPA, when they come drop their propaganda against rules like this, trying to make you think that it hits you, no, they're trying to leave you holding the bag. So why should you care about this? Because if these bludgers don't pay us what they owe us, you will be picking up the tab. I will be picking up the tab. So I'm really happy to see stuff like this passing, and I'm happy to see at least some level it's working to a tiny degree. Is it enough? You're damn bloody right, it's not enough, but I will pay steps in the right direction when I see them. Reddit punter Dopefish, I have doubled down on your pointing out of these laws that I think you are right, are in the right direction. Will they find loopholes? Will they work? I don't know, but it's good to bloody see the government doing something. I will go and talk to some smarter punters than myself to see what they think the impacts of these laws are having, because in a year or two, we will know whether they're working or not, because this is just the start. We need to see incremental ratchet and changes, ratcheting up the pressure on these bludgers, and this is steps in the right direction. So sorry, punters, if you wanted another video of me absolutely lambasting a government for one time. Here's what I think is some good news. Make sure some other punters know about it. Because when it comes to the election and we're given a choice again between a Bare Minimum Albo and the friend of the corporates, the Liberal Party, people can go, oh, well, they're both the same. Well, maybe not exactly the same. Anyway, massive thanks to We the Punters over on Patreon. These are the punters that keep me making the videos that I think are important, like this one. That probably might not get the clicks, but I can make them anyway. Feel free to share this with a punter who might not know how scammed we're getting. All the good news. If you want to support the channel, keep me doing what I'm doing, you can head over to Punters Politics, pick yourself up a t-shirt, some merch over there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Cheers, punts.